PhoBros Podcast, a Kill Team podcast, presented to you by the Florida United Kill Team.
All right, guys, welcome to the PhoBros Podcast. My name is Eric. Today, we are missing George, but I am joined by Cameron.
What's good, guys? Yeah, we're missing our boy George, the boy George, and we are joined though by our new boy here, Russ, GFN Gaming. Say what's up.
How's it going? Boy George isn't here, but I'm trying my best with my beard. It's nowhere near George's. Doesn't even come close, but it is slightly ginger, and that's all I can give. It's all I.
That's pretty good. Yeah, honestly, yeah. George has been looking pretty. His beard has been looking kind of beautiful recently. Gotta hype him up on that. He's been looking every time he comes on. It looks like he's oiled it nice, kind of like he looks like a dwarf lord ready for like a dwarf dinner.
That's what I was thinking. He does.
Yeah.
He gives big dwarf lord energy.
He does. He's like a cleaned up Gimli. Like he's not out in Middle Earth, but he's at the banquet hall.
Yeah. Young, out partying Gimli. That's kind of what I get from him. I have no idea. George might be a giant in real life, but as I see him, he's gonna be okay. Well, he's even shorter.
He's strong though. He's strong like a dwarf.
Imagine it.
Not a big guy though.
Yeah, he's been hitting the gym. He's been hitting the gym. I mean, I'd give him a strand of my hair, maybe even 3. You know.
No? Elf in this.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he stood on camera for the whole first podcast we ever streamed.
I thought he still was. Is he not?
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the ever stander. No, he just did that because he thought it was cool.
Yeah, after an hour roasting,
I was gonna say
that he got a chair. He had a chair. He just utilized it mostly.
He gave in.
Still my favorite thing that's ever happened, I think, is that. Like nothing even related to Kill Team. It's just so great.
So funny. So, naturally, we are a week or whatever past every other creator, if you want to even call us creators, that's talked about the Data-slate. But we're here, and we're here to talk about the Data-slate because there's cool shit coming down the pipeline. And I think, especially after nerf slate, this slate was pretty cool. I feel like there's good vibes on this slate. How you guys feeling over there, Russ, about this? Like you're in your local.
Well, on a personal level, a very deeply personal level, I was a bit upset that Vespids didn't get an almighty buff. They didn't get and they even got kind of a slight side nerf with a change to flank. Because the flank is now a little bit harder to score, and I feel like that's a little bit of a side swipe at a team that's already. I mean, I love them, but I feel like they could have had a nice little buff. But my other team, Battleclay, they got a bunch of new stuff. They're almost like a new team now. And I never thought they were doing that bad, but they got a whole heap of good new things that make that team even better than I thought they already were. Pretty damn good. But they got a lovely bunch of upgrades, I feel like.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm not gonna lie. Battleclade's not huge around here. I've played them a few times against them. I'm not.
Yeah.
I wasn't like really attracted to the play style, but when I saw the big page of buffs for Battleclade, my eyes just glazed over, and I was just like, "This doesn't mean anything."
Just zeros and ones. Just
yeah, it was literally binary. So I'm like, okay, I don't really feel like deciphering this information, but I guess you're the perfect guy to talk to. What's like the most impactful change that they got?
I guess in terms of an absolute, just complete change, where one of their leaders, the Overseer, lost an ability, which you feel like that's bad, but he got a brand new ability. But it's a way to generate CP, which they're quite a CP hungry team. And there wasn't a lot in the way of CP generation, so they've lost, I think, this new spheric spur, which is to make someone move, and then he's gained another ability where if you've got a number of bodies on objectives, you can generate a CP. But it feels like he's lost that ability, but there's a change to transfer power and network override, which allows your people to move, but no more than 2 inches. So they've kind of lost this ability to move, but then they've gained it right back again because you could never move when you were transferring power, basically. Whereas now you've got
everybody can.
Yeah, everyone can. It's only 2 inches instead of the 3 dash, but that's still across the team net buff. You get CP and you've still got your extra movement shenanigans. So that's quite a big change to the team and a brand new ability to generate CP. So that's probably the most. I mean, there's some other. I mean, to be fair, they got a bunch of stuff and they're all kind of great for the team. But that was
Yeah,
quite a change for the team.
That's pretty huge for a team that's pretty slow because that's what I noticed about them. But I've only played this team one time, which speaks volumes to the amount of people that actually play them around here. But I actually played it on
Yeah,
TTS against a opponent that was in New Jersey for one of these online TTS leagues. And holy crap, dude, one of the hardest games I have played in a long time. Mostly because I didn't know I was playing Blooded. And I did not really know all the ins and outs of how it worked with the network actions or how to
yeah,
really deny them certain things. And just the threat range we're playing on Tomb World as well. And having all these guys on guard and then transferring power and then shooting again. Dude, there was so much stuff that was happening. And I was like, what the heck do I even do against these guys? And I think they probably fall apart if you weasel your way in there and start meleeing the crap out of people. I assume that
yeah,
that's a great way to deal with them, but you have to get there first. And when they build the wall and then stand behind it, you're just like, all right. And then everybody's got the ability to shoot with the network action. It was hard. It was a very hard team. I think the play style is unique, but a good player
yeah.
is going to run your gambit with them.
Yeah, I think they're one of those teams that I think their strongest skill is just people not knowing what they do, which is
Yep.
not great for the opponent. As soon as they realize what you do, which is as soon as no model is ever truly done. So you move a model out, you can't ignore that model. If it's just moved into your threat range, you have to think that could be firing next turn as an activation. So you kind of have to play it differently. It's one of those teams where, when they come out, like Raveners came out and they were like, you can null deploy, you can near enough null deploy. There can be a scenario where you're facing no operatives. How do you play that game? I mean, just avoid the tunnel. But like, it's one of those teams where it's like, what do you do? How do you do?
Yeah.
So you got to play a different way, which I really liked. But yeah, they are a fun team. But yeah, you've always got to watch out for overwatching, people firing twice, moving up with a flamer, it flames you. You've immediately got to stop that guy because then he's just going to flame you again. But yeah,
Flamers were disgusting because we were on Tomb
yeah.
World as well.
I
So
was going
yeah,
to say,
yeah, it was so gross. But I think one thing you said in there that I appreciated was just like not knowing what this team does, and now they were already good. Now they're looking really good, and we have a couple teams in this slate that I don't think a lot of people like are seeing played a lot that are now I think going to be really dangerous teams. And Kroot is one of them, and I know Eric's going to want to talk about that, so we'll jump in there. But you got Kroot, you got Kasserkin,
oh
you
yeah,
have the OG Scout Squad, which is my guilty pleasure team that I tried to make them work last year a bunch of times, and I have this little thing where I always almost go back to them, but they never quite have the sauce. And I think now they
yeah.
might have the sauce, and we'll talk about it. I think they have
I
some
was going to
sauce.
say, yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
their changes are, but well, I guess it sounds like we'll get into it, which is good because I'd not read their parts yet.
Well, these are the teams that nobody even looks at when
Yeah,
these slates happen, and they've been sitting. All these teams, all the ones I just mentioned, I think have been sitting. I guess I'm not a big tier list guy, but I guess you would put them somewhere in like the high C tier list
mm,
maybe. And I think now they've jumped up a level.
yeah. I
And
mean, Kazakin were all the way down for quite a
so
long
bad.
time, weren't they? Yeah. So it's
And both
great to see
all
them
these
get.
teams got slight buffs, I think, in October, where they were a
Yeah,
little bit more usable, and then now they've gotten this kind of next one up where it's like, okay, now we're like rounding out, and it's like now I'm kind of seeing maybe where like GW's maybe trying to not get rid of, but pull this elite meta down a little bit because it's been so elite
yeah.
heavy these past few months. So we're getting these wider teams that are looking pretty good. But yeah, Eric, why don't you want to talk a bit about you've played a game of Kroot with the new buffs, and you played a game of Kasserkin with the new buffs. You want to give us a rundown on that, and then I got one game of new scouts on me that I'll go through later.
yeah. I basically was like, okay, I got to do my homework for the pod. So I guess I got to play some games of Kill Team. Yeah, I think the Crew one is very straightforward. I don't think that there needs to be a whole lot of discourse on it. But if you've ever played Crew, you understand that you're just at the mercy of breakpoints that you do not know how to break. Mathematically, you're like, this isn't really good for me to make this charge, but uh, at some point I have to rip the band-aid off. and I got to get somebody in there and try and do some damage, even though I'm probably only going to do 7 wounds, you know? Now with the 3/5, I think that uh, Kroot is very dangerous into elves. And, you know,
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
8 damage.
yeah, you can spit it out. You got balanced on 4 or 5 dice if you set it up right. Pretty high chance for a crit, man. And a lot of people are talking about the 3/5 on all their melee, except for dogs. Dogs are still 3/4, but that's okay. I don't necessarily use dogs like a cruise missile anymore. I used to.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do. I think they're better to play the tac op, and it's better to have more activations, right? Like Kroot or
Yeah.
a 12 activation team, we're in this elite meta, and who knows, maybe I've said this on the pod before, but I think we forget how good out activating your opponent is this edition sometimes.
It's the best.
Like it's really
It's the
strong.
best.
It's
the
super
best.
strong.
The control.
You know?
Yeah.
In last edition, we all knew it because all you could do once you were expended was shoot. You're like, okay, cool, I'll
Yeah.
charge you, loser, right? But now it's like, okay, anything can happen on counteract, but um, out activating people is really strong. So I don't like to throw away my dogs because I don't want to be I'm trying to deny kill out points and I'm trying to out activate you
Yeah.
and abuse that and hit you with all my heavy hitters because I can shoot you at the end of the turning point and flip on conceal and you can't stop me,
I was gonna say
right?
it's
So
nice.
like they have so much nasty stuff and yeah, so that's sweet, but the pistolero is also 3/5. So you can move,
Ooh.
shoot, ceaseless, lethal 5, piercing 1, balance on threes. That's nasty,
I mean,
bro.
ceaseless balance is just relentless, basically. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. So you're just like it is literally relentless with when you're hitting on threes.
Yeah.
Like it actually, Matt, it has to
Yeah.
be relentless.
Twos and
Like,
ones. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. So that's super strong, and that was a model that I liked to torpedo up because I'm like, well, I might as well, you know, I could live
Yeah.
if
If
you
he's
shoot me.
ready and they try and shoot you, he shoots first, doesn't he? Quick draw
Yeah. So
command.
you're like, I like to move dash him and shoot somebody in the face. And now that he's 3/5, piercing 1 with the equipment, pretty powerful. So Kroot, I think, are going to not break the meta. You know, we're not talking Wolf Scout Canoptech stuff, but I think the ability for them to reach those breakpoints is going to uh, really allow them to play a lot well into all teams. You know, it's just every team at face, right? You get 1 extra damage. You know, it's pretty good.
PhoBros Brute S tier. That's what I'm hearing
I
from you
think they're A
guys.
tier
S
actually.
tier.
I think they're
Eric
A.
has won
That's great.
what, 2 local leagues with Kroot, and that's pre-buff.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, or
Maybe you just won.
I think you won too, or maybe I don't
Maybe.
know.
I
You've
don't
done
know.
very either
I do.
way. Eric's
I
Well,
done
do.
he is
very well
declining it.
locally
Take the
with
second one.
Kroot.
I did it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was four.
he's done
It
well.
was 4 leagues.
It was
Yeah,
2
2
golden
years of
tickets,
Kroot.
4 leagues.
Yeah. I won Worlds with Kroot. You
Yeah.
guys,
Yep.
it was
Don't
long.
don't
worry
check
about
it. Don't
Long
check the
time ago.
results.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It was on
Yeah.
PCB. Really, really
Uh,
high level competitive app.
I don't
Uh,
remember anything yet.
yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, that's pretty much the Kroot, and
That sounds great. I didn't
which
know
is
they got a
amazing.
buff. I mean, yeah, they should get a buff. They should be a scary team. Like
Yeah.
that would be every team should be. Oh, I've got to worry about this. And they were kind of a team where you're like out activating me, doing great on the mission sometimes. Bound, that's quite, but it's not. It's not like, oh no. Whereas 3/5, like you say, with the dwarfs, Jaegers, another thing we mentioned, or maybe that no, we weren't rolling that. Anyway, that's a good breakpoint to have a 3/5 being able to spit out 8 damage potentially with a crit and a hit. That's a lovely little buff for them. I love that for them.
And
Yeah.
For Kroot.
yeah,
That
so
was huge.
into elves and like you said, all those 8 wound teams, I think they're gonna be scary because they're
Yeah.
gonna out activate you by 3, right? And they have some good stuff. So now they're really and when have we ever seen an entire team like everybody just be like, yeah, +1 crit damage on everyone? Well, maybe
I mean,
scouts.
that's
Speaking of scouts,
lovely.
with scouts got it last edition. Remember, they're just like, what if we gave all
They
their
did.
their blades 4/6?
That was nuts. When they did that, we're just like, do you know what? Should we just make scouts literally the best team in the game. We just make them absolutely shred elite teams. Because why not? Let's do like guarantee 10 damage on the charge. It's like
It's
what?
insane, dude. A
Yeah.
combat
Love the
blade
skill.
with a power weapon stat is just
Yeah.
insane.
It wasn't lethal 5,
you
but
can-
it was crazy still.
But yeah, it was
Yeah.
4-6 on a power blade, and there's a dude with a power weapon being like, "Is this a joke? What is
Yeah.
this
No.
now that you've got like tiny?" They were.
You got
I mean, that was
9
fun.
dudes and you're running up the board with that. It's crazy.
And yeah, and you had the
Yeah.
shotguns. Wasn't it 4-4? I'm
Still
sure it's
4-4.
is, but
Still 4-4.
Yeah, they hit on twos, 4-4s.
I mean,
So-
that's still amazing. To be
And they
fair.
got more. Tell us about the sauce cam, because scouts, I
Okay,
think
yeah, so
people are sleeping, bro.
people are sleeping on scouts. They always have. I played them last year at a couple tournaments and a couple leagues, and I think I was winning 3 out of 4 games with them against whatever teams I played, and that was because they shut the board down for the first 2 turns of the game with the full seek tokens. You're dropping a really nice mine as well. You're buffing yourself with the APL from their scouting options. You're getting a strat phase stun you can use whenever you want to just stop someone. And they started, though, my problem before with them was they just didn't have enough to really stay competitive. I felt like the shotguns were great, but the melee was just so, and their ploys were just bad. Like they had 2 different ploys that you had to play. One was a combat ploy for melee, and one was a shooting ploy. So you're spending 2 CP to get balanced in melee and balanced in shooting, and they just made that one ploy now and gave them a whole new ploy. Much better. And it's also one of those things too where it's not just auto balance. You have to go from conceal to engage to get the balance out of it. So you have to actually set it up, and then it's kind of like usually like a one and done thing for most operatives. And then I think the big changes they have right now that make them super saucy is their shoot. They always had a Firefly ploy to shoot twice. It was like a pay a CP for Astartes essentially. Now though, you can pay a CP, and if you have 3 APL, your rockets or your heavy bolter can shoot twice. It just costs 3 APL to do it. So it's an extra APL to shoot a rocket twice. And you can use an equipment on that to give it lethal 5 and saturate. And if you take the other equipment that gives the rockets relentless, you're now double shooting either a frag missile or a crack missile with lethal 5, saturate, and relentless.
Hang on a sec. They got an equipment that gives them relentless.
Yep, only on the big guns though. So it's called the heavy weapon bipod, and it will give them relentless only though if they already have access to the rerolls from the gunfight ambush. But you're always gonna have that up. Like if you're playing scouts well, you're always gonna have that ploy up. So then that way you proc your heavy weapon bipod and you rip 2 shots with a rocket. And if you got a blast play with 2 shots, oh my god, how beautiful!
Relentless on all of that. That's
Disgusting.
That
Lethal
is
5 it, baby. And I'm trying to think what else they gave them. They also gave, like in October, they had 2 ploys. One was a reconceal and one was a strat phase dash. Both happened in the strat phase. Now those are both D3. So roll well on those. You can dash 3 guys in the strat phase and reconceal 3 guys in the strat phase for a minimum of 1, which is still effective. And everyone on the team has 3 attacks with 4/5 melee, with the equipment.
I mean, it's still
You're not
great.
running in and fighting people, but you are a great retaliating fighting team. So roll a crit, take 5. I don't care if I die at that point. If I've wounded you some, a shotgun will finish you. But I think the biggest thing that makes them so sick now is, and this is the biggest buff they just got last week, is now in your scouting options step, which is what you do after you set up operatives, there's one called tactical maneuver. If you choose this for one of the options, it used to give you a +1 APL you could use in the strat phase. You could give it to anybody. Now it gives you 2 of those. And the way it kind of works out is you already have a 3 APL leader. So, and he gives out APL. So if you do it right, you can go into turn 2 or turn 3 with either 4 dudes with 3 APL or 3 dudes with 3 APL and a 4 APL leader. And you can, just set it up the right way. Have him give it out, use your 2, leave the leader with 3. The threat range is crazy when you include the dash, because now you're sitting there and you can strat phase dash, and then you can move dash shoot, or you strat phase dash, move double shoot. There's a lot of different ways that you can set it up to proc like distance attacks. I just think they're sick, dude. I think they're going to be a problem. I think they're wide.
Convinced.
Yeah, you got 9 dudes that all hit on 3s. They save on 4-ups. They have a defense reroll if you pay for it for a CP, and they get double cover saves with their camo cloaks. They're pretty durable. They don't have any ways to like. They don't have a medic, but I don't know if you really need one.
There's a lot of teams that have healing, but you just kind of feel like sometimes you don't need a decent enough save and enough wounds. Maybe you're okay.
Yeah,
You're already hitting on
I
threes.
think with 10 wounds, like I played a game the other night against Felgor, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this with Felgor against Felgor for my first attempt, but it was actually great. I mean, the ability to shut down 2 points on the board where they could stage with your seek tokens that you get in the strategy phase at the beginning of the game, so nice. Just takes that away. Use your mind to your abilities, and it's just too easy, especially on Tomb World as well, when you're sitting there holding down a whole room on guard with the ability to just nuke it with a lethal 5 relentless rocket. A team like Felgor is just, they hate that. But yeah, my pitch for scouts is, one, if you miss the old scouting step from 24-25 ops, play scouts, you get it back. You can also do this funny thing with them that everyone has always overlooked that I think is so powerful. One of your options in the scouting step for them is to have your opponent reveal their tech up. Now, some
that
teams,
is fun.
dude, I think it's fun. Some teams you already know what they're doing, but sometimes you don't. I mean, if you can make them reveal it and then change your whole game plan to deny their attack up, that's huge. Especially if they're playing like Martyrs or something. If you're like, this guy might be playing Martyrs, but I don't know. Might as well make him reveal it.
That is just fun. That's just like a power move.
It
You're
is
just
fun.
like, I'm gonna need to see that card now. You're like,
I like the
"I'm gonna tell
control
you,
the team has, dude.
show me the card."
Yeah.
It is fun.
You can do some funny stuff. The only other thing that I think is great with them that they do well is plant devices, dude. Because you can shut down so much of the board, and you can easily get to turning point to home point. Just throw your seek tokens, your full seek 2-inch tokens, as close to their home point as you can, where they can't stage too far up. You know, throw 2 or 3 warriors that way on turn 1. Someone's gonna get there on turn 2 and plant that device. Or if not, just play retrieval, dude. That's what I was doing with them. Just retrieving points, dude. Retrieve and run, and you're dashing. You're like I had a guy retrieve their home point and dash away, and then that was my last activation. And then the strat phase, I had him dash again. Like now he's gotten 6 inches back, and then I activated him first and ran him back through the door. It's like no one's getting this guy. That's my retrieval token.
That's a pretty good way to do it, actually. Yeah, because normally I might take retrieval and just think 4 is nice. 4 is all I'm thinking I'm getting on tack up, and then if I do the crit up quite nicely, but taking scouts and just like you say, having someone yeet all the way over there and then double dash and then activate and move, that's not a bad way to get it quite reliably.
Yeah. Oh no, they have, and being a 9-man team, they can easily get all 3 points. I think, as long as you play it right. I think people are sleeping on scouts. I think people are they're not gonna realize it till they play against someone that really knows what they're doing with the team and how much control the team has from the start of the game through the end. And I mean, I'm even thinking about it for like Murder Wing, like, throw a full seek token on some of those vantage points where Murder Wing are gonna want to stage on Volcus. You can't stand there unless you want to take a heavy bolter, pal, or a rocket. Either one will be fine.
It's gonna take them out.
Pretty
I don't
nasty.
like playing into scouts. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've got a few mates who play scouts, so they've never gone away from me. But every time when it's just like we're setting up booby traps here, we're setting up a bomb, it's just always just like, oh man, alive! I've got so much to think about, and even just adding that mental load to your opponent does actually work quite well. To be like, you're gonna have to think about this, you're gonna have to think about this. Maybe that's why I saw the last tournament I went to. I did see Jaegers coming back. And I've got a mate who's playing them at the moment, and it is quite. You drop so much stuff for your opponent to have to think about. Maybe there's something to it that my smooth brain doesn't quite cope with having to remember all the things that they can do and the equipment and everything. It's
Joke's on you, Russ. I just
that.
don't think about it. I go, cool, bro.
That's it.
That's cool.
Just I embrace the smooth brain. I just hear nothing, and then I move.
With scouts, I'm always like.
With it.
Scouts in deployment, I'm like, okay, so this asshole's not going to let me play the game here and here, obviously, because that's definitely where I want to play the game, so it's whatever. And then with Jaeger, I'm like, cool, I'm just going to run through that mine.
I'll run through.
Nice mine, bro.
This mine? I hope it's active.
It's not a mine anymore.
Right on there. Now it's a red blur.
You want to control
That
the
is
whole
what that is
board?
now.
Cool. I'll take 2d3, whatever the fuck. Sure. I get the
Yeah.
board back. I need the board back. Here you go. I'll just run fucking through
Yeah.
it.
You play the game in
That's
turn
the
3
counter.
against scouts. You just wait.
Yeah.
Wait till the stuff goes away in turn 3, and then you kind of like poop on their game plan. That's why they were so bad for me last year. Was anyone that figured that out? Then what are you doing after that? But now I think they have the extra sauce where even if your opponent does that, you're pretty solid across shooting and melee to still take down a win, because they have that like. Someone told me the other day that they were like, oh, it's kind of like a mix between Ratlings. And Jaegers, but on the Space Marine Scout chassis. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of the case. Like they have this weird they have a weird place in the meta though, and people look at them and I think they're like, that team's just weird. Like Eric and I talked about this yesterday. Like, yeah, like I think it's the models. They're not the coolest models, which is true. Aesthetically, they're not the best looking boys. Like they're very basic. Their suits look like kind of like funny astronaut man suits.
What
Like
did you say? You
I
were
think,
like, yeah, they're like just a bunch of football chads, what they look like.
yeah,
Just like
they're
you just got
just a
like
bunch of
9
football
dudes in like
cads, dude.
with their little football
They look like
jerseys on.
linebackers.
Yeah.
They just look like
Yeah.
and all of the sculpts are so bad on the heads. They all have like they're like GI Joe-esque linebackers essentially.
Yeah. I think that's got to be a throwback to the original models, though, where the sculpts
Absolutely.
were just so derpy. I quite appreciate the terrible haircuts. I'm just like, you know what? If they made them look too good, I wouldn't believe they were scouts anymore. They kind of got to look crap. Just
Yeah,
to work.
no, they all have the GI Joe like high and tight haircut. Like they
Yeah.
they're so fresh and new.
But yeah, we're calling it here. Kroot and Scouts
ST.
making a comeback. Making a
Mhm.
comeback. And
And
then
Casterkin.
Kasserkin too. So Kasserkin, did you see the Kasserkin sauce, Russ? Have you looked into
I
that?
didn't see the Kassakin source because I sold my Kassakin in the depths of their terribleness. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get rid. I quite like them. I like the models, but I was just sort of like, they're not for me. I want something Xenosy. So I got rid. But I'm glad to see them. You know, they should have been better all along. They had a little bit of time, and then as soon as the new edition dropped, I feel like they've just been. I haven't seen them at a tournament in a very long time.
It's
Like,
it's kind of tragic because they are
yeah.
their identity was elite killers, and then we get
Yeah.
this Space Marine meta, and you would
Exactly.
think, okay, maybe these guys are bad into everything else but elites. I mean, that's what they used to do. You'd be like, okay, they get
Yeah, that
killed
was
by
their
everything
thing.
but elites, but they fuck up elites and they still shoot really like consistently. So you still have to be,
Yeah.
on your toes. And then they just ended up being terrible. And yeah, sad. But now,
I was
uh,
gonna say, are the buffs enough? Are they good now?
yeah, again, I don't think that any of these 3 teams are going to be meta defining, but I think we're seeing more teams like rising into that A tier for me. And Kasserkin, I've only played him once since the buffs, so I don't really have like definitive feeling, but there's really crazy stuff you can do. So the big buff, in my opinion, is that if the sergeant is alive, you can pick a second skill of arms now. So before I would be like, do I want a 7-inch move? Do I want severe?
Mm,
Now I have a 7-inch move and severe.
pretty nice.
Just like across the board, we're
Yeah,
now 7-inch severe on threes.
by
Okay,
default, just for
not
keeping them alive.
bad.
Yeah.
Then we have, so when I played the game the other day, I just realized this crazy sequence of stuff you can do. Oh, before I get into this, they can double shoot with hotshot lads if they don't move now,
Oh, I know. I did. That was one I did see. That's pretty nice
which
because
isn't,
you have
yeah,
stuff running at you, but
it's
still.
not that common to, I think, to come up, but when it does, and you're like, oh, I have ceaseless piercing crits 1 because of a ploy, and I'm gonna double shoot you with a ceaseless piercing crits 1 bolter, essentially. That's pretty good, dude. Like that
That's
can put out
almost old school Phobos type stuff
can
right
put
there. I
out
mean,
some
you're
damage.
piercing
Oh,
Chris 1 versus piercing 1, but still, dude,
you're severe,
two
dog.
shots of that hurts, baby.
It's severe.
Yeah,
It's
and
piercing 1.
severe. Yeah.
Do they
It's
have
piercing
do
1.
they have access to severe, Eric?
Their whole team gets severe. And
Okay, so they get the crit if they
what you
don't get it.
do is generally you're going to be like 7-inch move and severe all the time, and you're going to maybe flex the severe, I think, into like -1 damage, or if you're feeling crazy, +1 attack die, but I feel like more likely you're going to have the sergeant give someone a third to give a specific guy like +1 attack die or something, right? But you're generally, if you just want to fire and forget on autopilot, 7-inch move severe, and you're just cruising, bro. You're just cruising. You're putting out damage, right? So that's cool. But I had this sequence that happened um, when I played this game yesterday that I was like, okay, holy shit, I just saw some sauce that I really hadn't considered. Because we all know, at least from last buffs, everyone's been talking about it, at least when Kaskin comes up. Now they can lose initiative and then shoot you in the face with a Melta anyways. Do you know about that, Russ?
That's the big one.
Okay,
I
you
do
don't
not
know.
know this.
Okay,
What's
so
going on?
they got a new
Yeah.
ploy. They got a new ploy that if you don't have initiative at the start of the firefight phase, and the timing here is important. The start of the firefight phase, you can perform one action, a 1 APL action, but you cannot move.
So you just absolutely charge your melter up regardless. Doesn't matter. You're going to get that first activation.
But
And
then
you're either
check,
moving and meltering
yep,
or just absolutely melter someone.
yeah, but then
Yep.
check this out, man. You also have the recon guy gives a free dash in the strategic phase a la Felgor. Pick a guy who's further than 3 inches from everybody else. Everybody within 3 inches of that guy who's also not close within 3 inches of enemies can do a dash, right? So I had this situation come up yesterday. I had a 3 APL Melta at the end of turn 3. We're already like in the
Yeah.
shit. I was playing stealth suits, so I wasn't able to yeet my Melta up turn 2 because he couldn't get close enough, right? Stealth suits are super
Yeah.
cagey. So I launched the Melta up there turn 3, my last activation. He had to stand on points eventually, right? Like it's turn 3, but he had smoked his suit that was unengaged. I could not get within 2. So I go, you know what? No big deal. I move dash. I take an obscured Melta shot at this guy. I get lucky enough, I do 6 damage. But this guy is still alive. I win initiative. I go, you know what? I don't want you to have CP. I don't want you to
Yeah, I
have
was
him.
going to say that's a great way of doing
So
it.
what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is I'm going to give you initiative for turn 4. I'll take 2 CP. He was tapped out. He was at 0 CP, so he gets 1. And I've been just
That's
like doing
great.
nothing all game because it's stealth suits, so I had like 6 CP, bro, because I'm just not doing anything. Like, I'm not even kidding. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I turn on all these ploys. I then dash my Melta within 2 of the smoke for a CP. Then I just shoot him in the face before the thing starts. So you can actually extend your threat range. And the other thing that
Yeah.
I realized I could do, because it's really, when you look at deploy, you're like, oh, I can melt you in the face when I lose initiative. At least that's like my first instinct. I'm like, that, because that's
Yeah.
crazy. But we were also playing download. And I realized that I could also spend a CP and just download his home point and score 2 VP, whether I win initiative or not. So you have that free
Yeah.
dash. You have the free dash where you can reposition yourself, a whole group of guys, and then you can do an action with any one of them that you want to do. Uh,
That's really nice.
Pretty
That's
crazy.
lovely. Is that like brand new? They never had anything close to that. Is it just a brand new firefight ploy, or is that?
They changed it the last Data-slate.
Nobody just
I'm really not
literally
been paying
nobody just
attention.
knew.
We talked about
Yeah,
it. We
I
talked
didn't know
about it a
about
little
this.
bit.
We learned about it from who talked about it on the show? Shane
Shane.
at Command
Yeah.
Point was on here, and he was like, he had some local guy do it to him at the local game store night, and he was like blown away. And then when I this is what we talked about earlier. People aren't looking at the changes to some of these teams, and
Yeah.
people just don't care. And then as soon as people start actually realizing and utilizing some of these teams that have been sitting in the deep end for so long, we're gonna have a completely different meta. But people got to catch on.
They're going to
Yeah.
catch on.
I
And
think
we got Chris Suarez, shout out Chris, one of our main Florida boys down in Miami. He's a big Capsicum player from last edition. And of course, he
nice.
switched over to some new teams because their whole identity changed and there was no juice to be squeezed. So he's like, well, I guess I'll fucking play something else, right? Because my team sucks now. But he was saying the only criteria to get the piercing crits 1 is that the target can't be in cover or they must be getting scanned from the recon. But Chris, if you're still listening, they also buffed that ploy. it's not just that you can't be in cover, it's that you cannot, if they cannot retain a cover save now. And guess what? If you're shooting people outside 6 inches with for one equipment point, you get saturate outside 6 inches. So effectively, like there's just so many ways that like the things are now synergizing together
Yeah.
into something that you can actually do. Where before it was just like very stale and just not enough. But now it's like you got some crazy stuff you can sequence together, and they just put out so much damage with so many rerolls, severe, and they're fast as fuck. So many, everybody has.
Yeah.
That's
Who-
another
yeah.
thing too that is really nice and that Castrigan's got, and they gave it to Scouts now too. Scouts have the Felgor Fireflight ploy plus 1 inch now on a move or a charge, so you now have a elf charge or an elf move for a CP with them. And Castrigan, I think Castrigan always had it though, didn't they? For
This
one of your
edition,
ploys, you could just turn it on.
it's just like they have an order they give out, and everybody gets whatever buff that you give. But now you can give 2 buffs to everyone, and then the sergeant can give a third.
That's sick.
And then next
Yeah, I think
buff,
GW just didn't know what to do with these teams.
Yeah.
Like I think there's these teams have sat in the weirdest. All three of these, Kroot, Scout, and Castrigan, have sat in the weirdest place since I started playing the game like a year and 2 months ago. And those teams have just never really come up, and they'd have always like Scouts never synergized before. Nothing I did with Scouts last year was cool except for the scouting phase. Essentially, that was cool, but it also, like Eric said, it can be gimmicky when you don't have the rest of the if the rest of the team can't capitalize on the fact that you shut the board down, then what's the point anyway? If your opponent can just wait you out till turn 3 and then body you, whatever. But now when you can actually back it up and things synergize in your favor, same with Castrican, overlapping lines on these auras and being able to stack all these keywords up, it takes a certain kind of player. It's not everybody's play style, but it's going to be an interesting next few months, I think.
I would love to see Kazakhstan taking a couple of tournaments from rags to riches kind of story. That would be. I've got some traitor guardsmen that I'm now like, you know what, traitor guardsmen. Maybe throw a couple of Kazakhstan rifles on them, or find out some way. That might be quite fun again, because they should be awesome, and especially as you say in the elite meta now, that was kind of their bread and butter. And now if they've got a little bit extra, it would be nice to see someone take them to victory.
I think
Dude,
they
it would
can.
be so sick.
Yeah,
GW must be thinking that, right? They must be thinking,
Someone's
hey,
gonna run them.
GW doesn't
we need a
think.
few teams here that can
What are you talking
actually hurt these teams, right?
Yeah, I think GW doesn't think, but yeah, for sure.
GW doesn't think.
They're
No, they
just like,
don't.
what if
They
we
must
pulled
sometimes
this
think.
lever? What if we pulled this lever? They're like, and then they watch it and they're like, oh fuck, we fucked it up, But yeah, no, I think it is cool that we're seeing resurgence. Is there anything else? Hoda got their ceaseless back, or was that last buff?
Hoda got the ceaseless back last buff, but then they just made them even better. They were like, you know what, dude? We don't have any other great elf teams right now. Here we go.
They are
So
the last best great elf team. I feel like I do. Still
I know
like
they
them.
are. It's taken them so long, but yeah, in October they gave them ceaseless back and they buffed their cover reroll that they were getting. Now, this time around, they were like, you know what? The leader now gets a pain token. They gave the leader essentially the Rekka Crew knob ability. So just like Rekka Crew, when the knob shoots or fights, he generates a Rekka point. When the Hoda leader fights or shoots, he generates a pain token. So you're getting an extra pain token from that. It's pretty great for like third or fourth round when you actually cruise missile him in. And then you also now have the ability to. The biggest complaint I had when I played Hoda was that in the strat phase, you have two options essentially for how you're going to play the strat phase, because they have two things that they really want to do. One thing that they always want to do is they give out pain tokens in the strat phase as one of their gambits. But before this new buff, they ran the risk of not being able to do it if they did the other thing, which was, hey, I pass my first opportunity and I gain a CP.
That
right?
was it. Yeah.
So they've changed it now, though, where the pain tokens get done before the strat phase. So you can do your pain tokens first, and then you can gamble on your pass, which really just, I mean, depending on where you're at in the game and how much board control you have on the board state with Hoda, you might just do that all the time. I mean, the only thing you're
Yeah.
risking is not getting Darkness Death, but it also depends on what your opponent needs.
Yeah.
But that's a huge change to that team. I mean, now not only are they going to kill everything, but they're going to not be so CP hungry. They're not going to be so hungry to have their pain tokens. Like, they're looking good.
I saw one change to Plague Marines, and I got really excited until I continued reading it because it was the change to, I think it was Plague Vents got changed because they were like, they used to be plus D3, D3 instead of just one wound if you activate. And I saw it and I was like, anytime you're within 3 inches of a Plague Marine, you're poisoned. And then I stopped reading it and I was very excited until I realized you had to roll for each one and get a 3-up, which is still not like, it's better than a 50-50, but I was like, I was really hoping that was just going to be poisons back. But yeah, 3-up, I was like, that is better than D3 damage, I think. And then virulent poison did change for the better. Just it means you can move forward with your plague wizard man and be like, you're poisoned, and then do another within 7 visible poison, so you can at least 2 instead of just racing forward and hoping they didn't out-activate you as you would against elites and shoot you back and try and poison a couple of people in counteract. You can now maybe get 3. So I think that's good, but I don't know. On the having to roll for it, I was like, I
A
don't know.
3-up too.
Like, they love that now. They love
know?
the rolling for things. Like,
Chaos.
yeah, which is fine. They want to add some gamble to the game,
Yeah.
But
not
it's
make things so
also,
definitive.
man, just a D3. You know, like if it was a D6 4-up, I'd feel a lot better about it.
Yeah.
50-50?
Yeah,
I'll
50-50
flip a
is
coin.
what I wouldn't mind.
You know, now we're like,
Yeah,
okay,
they just give you a plague coin. You just flip the coin. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
we're now you're like,
Tell
You
me
just
what
okay,
call
they're
it
doing on it.
heads like every time. That would be good.
yeah,
Well, it's just like Nemesis Claw now that with the way they changed all their rules require a little bit of a roll now, and it's like those are big changes to that team.
I would say I feel bad for them, but I played them recently. Although I quite like Vespids into them. But I played them in a tournament, and it was quite nice. They were like, I'm going to try and I was prepared every time for Vox Stream to just go off, and it did. But I didn't realize it had to be rolled, and I think
Yep.
they got a nerf, which is good because they used chain snares a lot in the game, and now it's once per turning point if it goes off. So I was like, that's. I don't know if they needed another nerf. Like I don't know if they needed one because I almost won. It was like 1 point in it. It was quite a good game and Vespids, and I was like, that's a pretty decent game. But I was like, that felt maybe a bit needless. I don't know.
Chain
How strong
snares?
in Nem claws?
We haven't seen much Nem claws, but I feel like our meta people bounce like people are either like me where they just bounce around to like 1,000 different teams. Like I play,
Hmm.
you know, I had like a little stint last month where I just played Rekkas, but I was also kind of burned out on kill teams, so I just wanted to throw buckets of dice.
The
And
fun team, yeah.
yeah, and then now I'm back to just like bouncing around to like a different team every time I play. Like somebody comes over and I'm like, "What do you want me to play?" And they're like, "Whatever you want." And I'm like, "I don't want to pick. Like just
Yeah.
name a team. Like I'll
Roll
pull
a
it out."
D8.
Yeah, dude, that's what we roll D3s and whatever, like pick 3
Yeah.
teams and go for it. But yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. Actually, oh, chain snares. Chain snares was a
Oh yeah.
universal thing. Everybody with chain snares got that nerf,
Oh.
from what I saw.
Because I saw Hunter Clade randomly in the list. I was like, the hell is Hunterclade still doing here? Who the fuck's running Hunterclade? But I think it must have been something like that, like an equipment update. Because I was like, I didn't know that team existed anymore. I was like, Hunterclade?
I'll take a
You're a
look.
sneaky one. I went
Yeah.
off against I played a really good Hunter Clade player at one of our bigger tournaments in September of this past year, and I was not ready for that team.
Well, no, I think
It's one of those,
they
it's one of
like
those
the
ones you
battle
don't
Clade, yeah.
see. And like, I think it's the sneakiness of this game. I guess there's very few teams I think that are just awful. I think that
Yeah.
everything, and most teams I like to think have something that can be really powerful in the right matchup. You'd want
Yeah.
to hope at least, but
It
I was
feels
gonna
that
say,
yeah, I
way
don't
now.
know. Nemclaw, I got no thoughts on Nemclaw, dude. They disappeared after the big changes that you had just talked about, and I mean they were good though. I think I hear people say though that they are still very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's still people running them. I know, yeah, I kind of mentioned like I'm not sure it's the same, but in the UK, I know you, Eric, you flip around on different teams, but you tend to have like seasons with a team. Here is
Yeah.
what I've kind of noticed. You're like, I'm gonna have at least 4 tournaments or 5 tournaments, run a season with this team, and then move on to another team afterwards. But there's still a lot of people kind of maining them claws. They've got quite a good following in the UK as far as I see still.
They're a cool team, though. I always liked how thematic they were. Their rules were written so well narratively to like Nemesis Claw in the lore, to the Night Lords. I'm like, this is a cool team. I almost did them, and I ended up fixating on something else. But I struggle with what you just spoke about with like picking a team because I will play a team for like 4 to 6 months at a time. Mostly because I don't like to do a lot of big hobby projects back to back to back. I want to just go all in, blow my whole entire load on one sick hobby project that's going to last me for like 4 months. And then I paint little things to keep my skills up. And then I want to go back and do it again like 6 months later with something else. Eric's very good, though. It just like bounces around.
Do you hobby them all? Or you've got all these painted up as well?
No, so I tend to only finish completely hobbying a team if I'm bringing it to a tournament. That's like my motivation. But that's also part of why I generally
You play
only
gray.
Very rarely. I'll often have teams painted, but not on a base. Like not based.
They're always like 75% complete unless he's taking them to a tournament.
If I take them to a
It's
tournament,
usually
All my
basic.
models exist at 75%. I am never happy.
Yeah,
Like
you would never really know
entire-
that his weren't finished, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So like you would look at it. I think maybe just the basing sometimes, but Eric does a good job of keeping them all at like a battle ready standard.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I don't like playing with gray. Generally, what I'll do if I play gray, it means that like I just built them, and
you're
then
testing them out.
and then I'm just like I want to run them because I kind of need some
I wanna play with
motivation.
my new toys.
Yeah, I need some motivation to sit down and paint these things, bro. And if they're sick, I'll paint them.
Man.
You know, and
That motivation. What happens if you lose that game though? And then you're like, oh, fuck this.
that's what we got
painting
eBay for. No, I'm kidding. I
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes I'll lose games a lot the first time I'll run a team. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're like I'm just and
That's how you learn.
sometimes I've learned too that I don't even necessarily try and win. Actually, it's more like why don't I push this button? Why don't I push this
Yeah.
button? And I'm just like trying to
That's
get
a
all the
good way to
things.
do it.
And I actually do the same thing like the first time that I played into Sanctifiers on release. You know, my buddy Tomas, he's like, "Hey, do you know what this team does?" I'm like, "Well, I've read it. It's fucking nuts." He's like, "You want me to explain anything?" I'm like, "Nah."
I'll find out live.
Yeah, and because the thing is, whenever they do the wham bam, you know, behind the back crossover, 360 dunk on your head, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's how that works. Good to know.
This is the best way to learn it. I
Another
think
for
you just gotta
next
let it
time.
happen for you.
Yeah, like that's what it
it's a
is.
rite of passage. to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
I
sent
think
out.
that's going to be happening a
Getting
lot
really
with these
caused.
teams now. The wham bam 360 crossover dunk of Casterkin is going to be like, people are going to be like, what the fuck?
Well, it's the worthy cause, isn't it? I remember the first time I was worthy caused, and I was like, right, can't wait to hang on. So what's that?
Mhm.
You're
Yep.
going awesome.
You gotta-
and you're going again. Fuck off. No, you are mint. And it was just like, well, I'll just call me when it's my turn again. It's gonna be a while. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the first
Delete
time
my
I found
front
it, it's
line
kind of fun.
and I'll come back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like playing 40k again, Big Hammer.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Tell me when it's my turn again.
That's what last
I
edition
mean, the
was.
first
You're just
time.
like, let me catch an indirect blast grenade off the rip.
Oh,
There's some things have
indirect.
gotten better.
Oh.
Some things have
I
gotten better.
forgot about indirect. You
I
brought
know.
back the PTSD of
I
indirect.
know. That's why you forgot about it. It was suppressed. It was a
Yeah.
suppressed memory.
Man alive.
We got
Indirect.
we got High Rocker in the chat. Shout out High
Oh,
Rocker.
High Rocker.
Yeah, he said, "What's good, Russ? Great to see you this Sabbath day." And yeah, he's High Rocker has a rule where he always has him at least primed and magnetized so he can carry him in his Crossfire Games case. Shout out Crossfire Games. We're Crossfire Games supporters here too. But
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, the whole thing with tabletop, like it's about the spectacle, man. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if we're playing with gray minis, there is no spectacle.
Yeah. Unless everything's grey, and I don't know how that works. Unless the entire board's grey, you lost something there. Like you need it.
Me and my childhood best friend just bought the starter set. And here's our little gray L-shaped ruins. You have the gray Tyranids. I have the gray Space Marines. And let's try to figure this out. I did that. It's terrible.
I've done that as well. But
We've all
I think
probably done that.
they should bring back the cardboard cutout because I used to love the cardboard cutout you got in like second edition or whatever edition of 40k, where you just have a dreadnought on the cutout and you'd be like, boom, all painted. That's my dreadnought. Bring
Those
back
are so
that.
sick,
That's
dude.
right.
So throwback. I just miss the old starter sets too. I guess maybe they're really no different than the new ones, but there's so much nostalgia in like the old like Battle for McCrag Ultramarine starter set, and it came with that really sick destroyed
That was
spaceship
wasn't that
ruins.
was great.
Yeah, dude, that was sick. The first one I ever got was a Black Templars versus
Dark
I think it
Elves,
was Dark Elves. Yeah,
Third
was the
edition,
first starter
yeah.
set. Yeah, that was my first starter set, and it was the one where John Blanche had done the cover art for the Templars Codex, which is still like
Nice.
I think my favorite piece of art.
Yeah, man. That's
So
not
good,
bad.
dude. So good. Well, should we?
Well, real quick,
Let's see. We've
because
been
you're
we've
about to
been
go into
we've been
something.
trifling.
Real quick, I'm
Huh?
gonna mention one last thing because you had mentioned Hunter Clade.
Yeah.
Something happened for Hunter Clade, and I looked it up while we were bullshitting,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
has to do with the
It's another
arc.
nerf.
No, actually, it has to do with the Arquebus, which is the guy who's on the only other model in Kill Team with an oval base. And so
Oh,
this
the
is actually,
trans.
yeah,
Yeah, the massive rifle gun.
this is actually an interesting conversation because we had a little bit of a discourse going on that I've seen online, both locally and in the greater Kill Team meta, where people are like, we got this wolf. How do you measure movement with the wolf? And they clarified, but what do you think, guys? Like, without looking at this clarification, how do you measure with an oval base?
In terms of like rounding a corner.
Yeah, without cheating movement. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty
Yeah, it's
simple.
hard. It's
I
easy
was
when
saying
it's like
this
I
the
feel
whole
like when it's
time.
straight. Yeah, when you're drawing a straight line, it's obviously pretty straightforward
I think
from
that it's
front of
actually,
base.
in my opinion, I think it's fucking straightforward because what you're doing when you measure with a round base, right? You're picking a point on the base, you're measuring from that point, and that
Yeah.
point goes X so many inches in the direction that you selected, right? That's all you're doing the same thing with the oval base. You are measuring from a
I'm gonna
point.
hit you early with that's heresy, bro, and say that's absolutely bullshit. And what should happen? Yeah, no, I agree. That's exactly
Yeah.
what should happen.
And that's pretty much what they said.
You should pivot and then move, and then pivot and move again. Yeah, for free, obviously.
Yeah, for free. And pretty much what it
Like
said
an
here
extra inch.
is that
Had to
you,
stop people doing that against me. It's like, dude, you just took an extra 3 inches, brother.
yeah, yeah. So
He's like high five.
you
Yeah.
just have to be a little bit more mindful
Damn.
in the way that you measure with those things. It's not as simple as with the round
So that's
base.
what their buff is.
Well, they didn't get a buff. It just said, hey, how should the movement for the oval
Oh yeah,
base be
clarification.
measured if it rotates during a movement? And it basically says no part of the base can move more than a permitted distance. So
Yeah.
you pretty much just have to, be careful when you're rotating that thing because rotation is movement. That's essentially what it says.
Yeah.
That's all it was. So Hunter Clay got nothing.
Just changed how one of their models moves. That's it.
Yeah, which
That makes
most of
sense.
the time you don't
Maybe
take that model unless you're
otherwise.
just having fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a fun model,
I've
but
even
isn't it
seen
like
it.
super heavy? Like I don't know if it can't move. It mustn't be able to move. and
Heavy
shoot,
dash, I
because
think. Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, for the
Yeah.
fact that that gun's got like a kickstand, that's
It was always
what you would
in
expect.
cover or obscured, bro, because you would have the
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
the gun
I
is
mean, yeah.
facing this way. He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like driving.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
It's to do a knee slide every time he dashes and just like slides in and sets back up. That's all
Yeah.
he's doing.
I guess he only ever moves the length of his own base. It's just because he's
Pretty
that
much.
slow.
Yeah, pretty
It's insane.
much. Yeah.
I've
Just
never
park
seen that model on the board. I
I've
didn't.
played against it. Hunter
Yeah,
Clay
me
is
too.
awesome. I mean,
John-
he dies, but
John here in Florida, he used to play Hunter Clade.
Nice.
They just lost a
has
lot
he
of
moved up the battle clade?
He's on suits right now. He was on Ratlings and he was on suits.
He did try Battleclade though for a bit in one of the leagues, I think.
I don't remember, but I know he was kind of disappointed about Hunter Clade because they got neutered this edition, coming
Yeah.
from second edition. But
I feel like they had like a decent game into elites at the time. I don't know if it's the same as Skatari. They had the big guys. I can't remember the
Rust
I don't know what they are.
Stalkers.
They had the Flechettes. Yeah, the Rust Stalkers. I feel like they had a decent go into elites at some point, but They
Yeah.
had heavy weapons. I don't know.
They were super fast. They ignored
That's
the first 2 inches of every climb.
That was the one. That's
Every
pretty
climb.
damn good.
Not Bound, not Brood Brothers, you know.
But every climb.
Every climb. So they were just like flying over the light cover, dude. They would just, you know, fly right across the board to charge you because whatever was there, they kind of just ignored it, which was pretty cool. So but they don't do that anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they used to do.
That's the same.
And so I think if you had like your Rust Stalker torpedo taken away from you, it probably feels bad.
That's fair. That's fair. A fair gripe.
I think there's some other stuff they lost too, but that was the big thing.
Yeah.
I think the leader used to tell like the plasma or the arc gunner or whatever to shoot. It's kind of what would happen.
Oh, like the high-tech thing, shoot command thing.
Yeah, I think that's what the leader would do. So you'd have like the arc guy jump up and shoot you, and you would get like one counteract or like Overwatch to try and kill him because then the leader would have him shoot again. I think that's what it was.
That's quite battle played.
Yeah.
So you've got to like the guys, they're never truly done until the next activation.
But I think they took that away too. That's why I think
that thing you liked, it's gone.
Yeah,
but you've still got the other thing you like. No, it's gone.
No, we'll take an operative away too. How about you take one less guy? I think that's what they did also. They poor John. I know he loved that team, and
they had were the bucket heads with the 6-inch no reroll auras. Those guys were sick.
Didn't they have like the ill legs as well? That like, the radioactive made you injured or something at some point.
Yeah, I think they still have that.
A couple of editions back.
No, I think they still have that actually. Yeah, I think they kind of do that, and then they do the no reroll bubble now. They do the infiltrators, and they have like. There's a 6-inch bubble off the infiltrators now. They have like silent shooting, and they turn off all rerolls, like the entire board for a CP. You just like don't reroll anything, so you're just raw dogging it, dude. You're just like, fuck.
Always the worst. Gotcha. That happened to me. I charged like my Crimson Duelist on Hoda into one of those dudes and had no idea about the reroll bubble. And my opponent's like, I rolled no hits, and I'm like, that's all right. Pain token reroll, and he's like, nope. I was like, what?
The smile, like, just ear
yeah, he's just like 6-inch bubble, dude. And I was like, fuck.
You know what? I think that's great because I don't like the amount of rerolls, and sometimes I need them, but sometimes like an honest raw dog roll where you're just like, I've no rerolls, I'm hitting on 4s, I've got 4 attack dice, I'll see you on the other side, and you just like 2 hits. That's the
game, dude. They have way too many rerolls, dude. We've said that. I listened to one of your guys' podcasts, Kill Team Casuals, where you talked about that. Just so much. They've done a good job of limiting Relentless, I've noticed. I don't see that one as much.
Massive last edition, I feel like. There was a lot of stuff to be like, get how to... Basically, the route to Relentless, and then you were like, now you're dead. Whereas there's a much, much less routes to...
It's much more just balanced now. We're just seeing like mostly balanced. Yeah. Where we did see Relentless, it's like maybe Ceaseless. You know.
Yeah, and you get like maybe you get a couple of people, but like if you hit these boxes for a CP, you can get Relentless once.
That's like scouts essentially. You have to check all these boxes to get Relentless on your heavy gunner. You have to have this perfect order, which isn't hard to achieve, but you still have to actually think about it. It's not just here's a CP. It's not like Wolf Scouts where it's like, oh, are you 6 inches from your boys? Relentless.
In an elite team. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Presumably,
all right. You heard it here. We're saying Kroot, Castrican, and Scouts are looking good. S tier all day. I do have to say one thing though. I have to clarify something I said earlier about Scouts before we move on because it's near and dear to my heart. I said one thing that was wrong. For anyone that listened, that if I touched your heart and you want to play Scouts with me, I said one thing wrong, which is you cannot have 5 3 APL guys in turn 2. I had the number wrong. It's 4 of that if you do it right. So that's leader with 3 APL, 1 guy that your leader buffed, and then 2 from the strat phase. Or the option I like better is 2 3 APL guys and 1 4 APL leader. Because what the fuck, dude? A 4 APL sergeant's just sick.
You can have 5. You're actually not wrong because you can buff someone to 3 APL that's expended turn 1. You can activate the leader, buff another guy, that's 2.
Oh, yeah,
then you have the leader, then you have the strat phase, that's 5. You knew you were right and you didn't even know you were right
the whole time.
You lost all credibility running yourself.
Banned from PhoBros. Russ, you're in you're out of casuals. You're in now. Yeah. I need someone to fill in. Yeah. Sorry, man.
I've lost everything that I thought I had.
Sucks to
You know
suck,
what?
dude. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. So,
So sorry, boys.
he's out. He's
like,
good.
"I'm
Okay,
gone."
now he's gone. Let's get really into the
Yeah.
talking now.
Let's talk
Yeah.
kill team now.
Now let's
Yeah.
talk about
Take
how
Lenny out back
bad
and shoot him in the
scouts
head.
actually
Yeah.
are and how delusional my co-host is. So, anyways, no, yeah, but really, I didn't really care to talk about the nerfs. I'm kind of glad we didn't talk about many like the bad things that came down the pipeline. I think it was more cool to
Yeah.
like this was a big buff slate for a lot of cool teams,
Ooh, yeah.
and I think we're gonna see more teams showing up to tournaments that we haven't been seeing, and I think that's pretty rad.
Yeah, I think that's only a good thing, more diversity. Last tournament I was at, the top 3, top 4 was all Canoptic. So the fact that Kazakin might be there, that's beautiful. That
Yeah.
is beautiful.
They're
And
spicy,
may be
man.
a
Some
battle
dwarves,
blade.
maybe. Some dwarves. I heard that Salvagers got some buffs. I didn't actually look at them, but somebody told me that Salvagers got some buffs.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're actually kind of hard. Every time I've played them, it's actually not been an easy game. Salvagers they're only limited by their little legs.
yep, actually.
Their stout hearts are true.
Yeah,
Their
I
little
know they're
legs.
durable. They got a couple guys that just eat your lunch in melee, and they got a bunch of dudes that eat your lunch in shooting. And they're a wide team. They're just slow
They
as
love
hell.
lunch.
Yeah, they're hungry. They're
They're
slow.
hungry for it.
Oh, well,
You know what? I hate a 5-inch team. I
Same.
hate a slow
Same,
team.
bro.
We all hate them
I
here.
want to love Plague Marines so much, but the core, they're so slow and it just hurts me every time. Just looking up at a bit of terrain, being like, I'm not getting up there. Not without ladders. I'm just like, oh, that's so upsetting.
7-inch move is like crack in this game to me.
Oh yeah.
It's
So
just
good.
so good.
I'm a huge fan. I like fast teams. I mean, that's why we're the PhoBros. We want fast Marines, you know?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Like, that's what it's all about.
But we don't really want Wolf Scouts. Like, I was about to full send Wolf Scouts, and then my old Scout babies got a little love, and I'm going to go play them instead. And Eric hasn't touched Wolf Scouts yet either. I don't know.
Mine are on
I'll play
Sprue.
George. Well, actually, no, George loves them. I can't
George
say that.
did.
George
Did.
really loves them.
I'm just a hipster.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta play. I want to beat you with something not good.
That's why I'm still running Vespids.
Yeah, no, but I respect it, dude. It's like I've talked about it countless times. For like, I had a Strike Force Justian run last edition, and
Nice.
I'm telling you, man, yeah, they're not great. They're not great, but they were super consistent. And there was something about walking up with the worst team in the game, and they'd be
It's a
like,
nice
"What
feeling.
equipment are you taking?" Can't.
Yeah. No.
And they're like, "Oh,
Don't
so
need it.
yeah, like so this is an easy dub," and you're like, "Sure, yeah, man."
Yeah.
And then now it's just like you're eating a
You got a
piercing.
power fist in the plasma.
Yeah, you're eating a piercing 2 plasma and a power fist, and next thing you know, you're like, What? How did you put out so much damage?" Well, everybody hits on 2s. So I win, you know. But yeah, no. So that's where like I'm looking at Mandrakes because Mandrakes got nerfed now, and I'm like, okay, now that Mandrakes,
Ooh, they don't get a lot of play either, especially in our meta. I have not seen them in ages, and they were they're one of those teams that it's annoying to play against, and I get that as a
So
Vespid player,
annoying.
that's the same. But like even just being like, and which one's that one?
Yep.
Okay, and this one is
Yep.
okay, yeah, and that one. Okay, I didn't think that was that one, but that's that guy. All right, cool, because they all look the same.
Tell
It's
them
kind
apart.
of annoying.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then
I wish
yeah,
they'd just done something better
hmm
to be like, this is that guy. Yeah, it's one of those frustrating teams. I get that people complain about Vespids being the same, but it's like, yeah, but they're all bad.
You can
Like, none
tell
of them
what
get
Vespids
mint.
are, though. I think you can.
Yeah, the big ones with the big guns. You're like,
You
this
gotta
dude's
tell
gonna
the
tell
do-
what
guns.
they are.
Yeah,
The
the
thing
one out in
about
the open is the one you can't shoot.
yeah, the thing about
That's why.
Mandrakes is you would ask all those questions, and then you're like, okay, now that I know what's going on, I'd like to activate this guy, and they say, no, you can't play the game.
Yeah.
That's what's annoying about
And they still
Mandrakes.
got that.
Well, they
their
made
lead
it
is the worst.
they made it so the leader can only stop
Sucks.
you once a turn per model.
Per model wants to.
But it used to be I've had guys trapped for 9 activations in the leader's bubble
They're
before.
not fun.
Yeah.
They're not
Swamp.
fun.
So now that they brought it down a little bit, I'm like looking at, okay, now that you can't just auto win flank, now that you can't just
Oh, yeah.
annoy like your opponent to a maximum level, I'm like considering getting into them. But they're also it's still an annoying annoying team, man. Like any
Yeah.
any activation denial that happens more than once a turn, full stop, is fucking annoying. And so they made it where
That's,
it can happen to every model, but it used to, like, seriously, man, one time I had a model I tried to activate every single time. And I was playing Felgor, so I got all 10 activations, right? Because they were frenzying my guys, and I was still trying to get this guy out of the bubble.
yeah.
I tried to activate him 9 times. It wasn't until he was the last guy left that I could activate him. That's
God
not
sakes.
cool.
They've been pretty consistent, like in our meta at least. There's always kind of someone playing them,
Oh, that's
but
good.
and you know they're one of those teams too, though, where like if you got if you killed, I think it's the leader and the Dirge Maul early, the whole team crumbled.
Yeah, the
Like
Dirge
they
is that the guy that gives out the extra AP stuff when
That's
you
the
kill
chooser.
something?
You
Or
killed the chooser and the Dirgemaw, I
Chooser.
think.
Chooser and the Dirge Maul,
Yeah.
that was it. And
Yeah.
I was very lucky where I'd always get one Phobos Marine that would charge, fight, and shoot and get both those guys. I had it happen multiple times. Just keep getting lucky. And
Just
then you
breaking
just win the
back that
game
team.
because that's like the whole
Yeah.
team. But a good Mandrakes player is never going to really give you that. Like,
Yeah.
I had
you
the
know,
most amazing. Oh man, it was in the when I was playing Star Striders, and I stormed someone up into the board and managed to get, like, I think they'd congregated in the middle, but like they thought they were out, but they didn't realize there's a 3-inch blast, and I think I managed to get a shot for like 5 mandrakes in this thing. The joke is I rolled maybe 2s and 1s on everyone and did no damage, but I was just like, I'm about to do 5 lots of rolling for every one of you guys. But it was nothing happened. But I was like, God, I have to take it. I just saw it line up, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to take this shot, even though I'll do no damage. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do like
don't
that.
you hate that too? The dice reversal thing? It's so annoying.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you've worked so hard to get these 5 targets, but you're gonna get maybe 1 damage through them all.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's awful.
It's bad.
Well, we
Is that your
had
play of the week, bro?
yeah.
Right
That's
there.
when-
Speaking
of-
I mean, that happened a couple
the
of years
play
ago.
of the
I mean, I
week.
won the game. But...
Play of the week.
Yeah, so it's not a bad time to jump into the play of the week, I would say, right?
What a segue.
What a
professional
segue,
segue.
right? Yeah. Uh, what do you got, Cam? I know you said you had something locked and loaded for play of the
Did
week.
I don't really have anything that great. I have a
Cool,
good
yeah.
play, but it was boring. It was a scout play. It was a boring one. But honestly, let's talk. I'll share it. I got us. I'm all on my scout shit. I've lost all credibility to anyone that actually wants to listen to me, but listen to this, all right? Um, basically, I was playing this game the other night. Didn't know what tac op to take, so I just took retrieval because I'm like recon, retrieval, great. I pushed hard on my opponent's home point. It was my left flank, and I think it was turn 3. I was able to strat phase dash 2 guys onto their home point. Just essentially just rolled the right thing, got both of them up there, retrieved the home point, and turned it on. And I with 3 APL warrior, so we're playing secure. And then got initiative, immediately dashed and repositioned back, left my other warrior there holding his point. And he never got it back from me. So essentially, in one swift, very scout-like move, I was able to get guys in position, activate, retrieve a point, and run away with it, and turning on the point, and then leaving my guy there to score it later in the turn. So pretty sick. Nothing really flashy, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty of scoring points, it was pretty great.
Out of sequence actions are like gold, bro. And I think
They're
that
big right now. I mean,
yeah.
they've always been big, but I think we're seeing a lot more teams being able to do it. It used to really suck with scouts because it used to basically, you had to be, I want to say it was 3 inches away from enemies to do it. Now it's 4 inches away, so you get a little bit extra bubble there and you can only used to be able to do it once. Now you roll a D3, which again, you could just roll a 1 or a 2, but still.
Yeah. But still, you got a good chance to get 2 guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's they're saucy, bro. They're saucy.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything for us, Russ? It could have happened to you, or it could have been something you did too. If your opponent pulled out the big stops, bro.
I was gonna say mine was more of a whiff of the week. I played 2 games a couple of nights ago, and it was I had a plan. I had something in my back boots. So I was like, this is going to be fun. When it happens, I was into Death Watch, and I'd taken my newly done Murder Wing, and I was like, this is gonna be a nice little stop to his momentum. So the plan was we'd kind of gone heavy for heavy. We had the Depredator and the Devastator. Is the Demolisher? Sorry, the Demolisher with the hammer. Because we were playing fun. It was like, let's just have a fun. I felt bad because I don't think he knew the rules that well, to like all the new Murder Wing rules. So we were playing, and then he charged in, and I was like, I'm about to use my crit to just disappear out of this fight. But I think I rolled only one hit. It was a crit, and I forgot that Demolisher had shock. I just completely forgot, and because I was just about to gotcha him.
It was
I couldn't
the
be like
Hammer Fist guy, not the Rocket Hammer guy.
Oh no, in Death Watch.
Death Watch. I was thinking Rekka's,
the
dude. The
Demolisher.
Demolisher.
No, it wasn't.
I was also
I
imagining
was
you're
so
playing
lost,
orcs.
bro. I was so lost.
So,
Okay, yeah. So
no.
your only
So
hit got shocked away.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, and then he had everything else left, and I was like, oh no, and then from that point on, I was like, I had a plan, and now my plan's gone. I think you just win. He must be dead. So he was dead, and I'd kind of lost him pretty early, and he was primed to do what I thought was going to be a great move, because he had 3 guys within 3 inches. I was going to be like, I'm going to charge, flail, and then I'm going to vox cast all those guys, and then you're going to be in trouble. But yeah, no. Instead, I just I whiffed that one, and I got shock hammered to death.
You can double flail, bro. That's crazy. The double flail is crazy. You can do it.
You can double.
This is pretty controversial, but yeah.
Oh, you mean
it says in the card you can do it.
It says, for the purposes of the Astartes rule, which specifically lets you do 2 actions, it says you treat it as a fight action for Astartes. You can just run in and do 4d3 or whatever.
That's pretty damn nice.
And then you're just standing there on 14 wounds, and you're like, cool, if you want to mess with me, like, I have a 5/7 chainsword. Yeah.
It's always the flail guy, though, with the whiffs. It happens to me all the time when I'm playing Felgor with the Vandal, when I don't have any rerolls up. And it's just like, you're only hitting on 4s instead of 3s, but dude, it's just like, it's those damn flail guys. Like, you should have just done the flail. Like, because then you're alive, you've done mortal wounds, like, you know.
It's free damage, man.
Myself.
It's free damage.
Yeah, the Plague Marine guys got it as well. And I every time I've done it in a tournament, again, let's just do another whiff. When you're charging with a Plaguecaster, you fight, and then just as you've rolled the dice, you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't do the flail thing first. And it's like, oh.
Oh God, how do you say it, Eric? How do you say it? You gotta wing the bing bong.
Never said that. I've never sequenced those words together in my life, bro. You know what, dude?
Who says that?
You're just making stuff up. This whole podcast, you're just making stuff up, dude.
Dude, I swear to God, you've said that.
I've never said wing the bing bong, dude.
I'm pretty sure
that's a very.
He's lying.
You know what? That's an intimate thing.
I know you as Eric wing the bing bong.
Yeah, that's an intimate thing between my girlfriend and I, dude. You and I haven't talked about that before. Winging the bing bong.
Winging the bing bong. Who says that?
That's gonna get us demonetized on YouTube. Twice, because we're already not monetized. We're double demonetized, bro.
They're gonna charge you.
They're charging me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, guys, you gotta pay now.
I just got an invoice for sexual harassment. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's lying. He just doesn't like that I said it. Because it's his catchphrase. It's his catchphrase. And I said it for the first time ever in my life, and now he's lying. He also texted me and told me that I did the 3 APL, 4 APL thing wrong on the scouts, and that's why I reset it.
But I say spinny do, dog. I say you gotta do a spinny do, or that's probably what I say, because everybody loves a good spinny do, man.
That sounds like you're going.
Just kidding. He didn't text me. That was my own. That was my own. Completely my own blunder, and but he does say wing the bing bong. That's
okay. Okay, I'll die on the hill that I don't say wing the bing bong, but we'll.
I think you should from now on.
I think regardless, it's not.
It's a great one.
I don't know why you're so shy about it.
Look, man.
Wing the bing bong, Eric.
I'm a grower, not a shower.
Come on, dude.
All right,
Come on out.
that's what this is all about. Um,
This is like getting like a baby deer out of the edge of the forest with him.
yeah.
You got the seeds in your hand. You're like, come on,
Come on,
wing the fucking bing bong.
wing the
dude.
bing bong, Bambi. Yeah. So I have a very brief play of the week I'll throw down. It wasn't what I did. It was what was done to me, and it was actually I played against Hoda. I had a great turn two. I killed 5 elves turn two, I believe, or maybe four. It was a hell of a turn two. So then I launch three of my best models into the mid board because I'm like, well, they can't kill them all. You know, like whoever's left, like yeah, somebody's gonna die, but like I'm gonna have guys there, so I'll just fucking yeet them up there and we'll deal with it. I got 10 dudes left to your 4 or 5, like we're chilling. So I throw these three guys up. I lose initiative, which I kind of expected to happen. The Yalindra comes around the corner with her poison grenade, throws the poison grenade on all three of them. No big deal. We were ready for this. We knew this was going to happen. Everybody's poisoned. All three of them injured. That's okay. The kin band is still holding strong, right? Then the Yalindra shoots into my cold blood with the because 3 APL
With
pain
that
token
explodey thing.
Yep.
kills my cold blood. The cold blood explodes into the other two guys, and if it wasn't for my
Perfect play.
opponent, if it wasn't for my opponent rolling bad on the D3 damage, it would have been a triple kill with the
Oh my God.
Yalindra. It only ended up killing the cold blood, but when this was all happening, I'm just like, well, I guess you can kill them all.
The colored raid.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong about
wanted
that.
to see that movie. I always wanted to
That's
see that
like
movie
a
go off.
dude, that's like crack cocaine for a Hoda player, frothing
Oh,
at the
yeah.
mouth to get that one
Yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah. I was like, man, I really,
Yeah.
really bamboozled myself there, because that's literally what I was thinking. I threw him up. I'm like, yeah, somebody's gonna get killed, but and now I'm just putting the pressure on. We had like made a custom map with all these containers. So like, containers are like big, blocky pieces of terrain, and so it was kind of restrictive for us to move around. So I was like, you know what? For turn three, I'm just gonna launch these guys in the mid, and I can put pressure on his home point. And yeah, almost got pretty solid. But I thought that was pretty cool. Just the fact that the
Solid.
poison was gonna blow up, and then if he killed another one, it was gonna blow up into the. It was literally just gonna like chain,
Yeah.
bop, 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 bop. And it didn't happen because he rolled a one on like three of the D3s or something.
Oh man.
Yeah, or it would
Mm.
have got me. It would have got me, but it was still really cool. And just the fact that it was about to happen, it was like, oh shit, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
All I
Pretty
can think of is the Michael Fassbender meme where he's just like perfection.
You have the most obscure meme and real references, dude. The
Oh yeah,
roast.
my one recently is my favorite one that I've been using in every circumstance possible, even when it's not really that relevant. Is a chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his quality. I'm sending
Yes,
that to
that's a
everybody,
good.
dude.
That's a good.
It's my favorite.
I say that quite a lot. Anytime anything happens, it's just like, Russ, are you gonna make the roast potatoes for dinner? And I'm just like trying to think. Yeah, I'm just
Ugh.
yes.
Chance for
Yeah, they
Russ
are.
to show his
Russ.
quality. It
See-
feels so.
It's the way he
Like,
says show his quality. It's the way he says quality is so interesting. I'm just like, yes. I love that. That's a
dude,
great.
it's such like it has like a little bit of cringe that goes with it too, but that's kind of what makes it so funny, I think.
He's kind of got like a look away. Show his quality. He's like
You never
looking
even
at
responded to
the
the meme I sent you last night, Eric, when I was talking about how everyone thinks I'm crazy for liking Scout Squad, and it's just the Lion King when the monkey throws the lion off the thing. They're just like, "Fuck this team."
Oh yeah, I didn't respond to that. I didn't. My bad. My bad. I
Yeah,
just
it was
wasn't on
kind of gold, and
Instagram.
I was a little, I woke
Oh
up
no,
this
no, no.
morning
That was
like
on my text. That's right. I think I passed out on
I
the
woke up
couch,
this morning
dude.
like, oh, I can't wait to see these ha 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 ha's I'm about to get.
See
Nah,
what I shoehorn
crickets.
into conversation, which I actually haven't done in a while, but I used to do this all the time, is a aliens quote where they say for the second movie, Aliens, I say we take off from orbit. We take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And I would shoehorn it in like anytime someone would ask me a question, like if we're not certain about
What do you
something.
think?
Yeah, like what do you think? I say we take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And a lot of times people would not pick up that it was and Aliens, the second Alien movie reference, people would just glaze
Obscure
over.
one.
And then I would just keep using it. I used it for years. I
Yeah.
would just keep using it, and no one would ever get it, but it wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't stop me. But like that's
Well, my favorite Aliens 2 quote, which I overused a lot, which again you can throw in any conversation. Anytime anyone says anything that you can use this. I just go, they mostly come at night. Mostly. I love that one. It's because it's
That's
the
so
worst
good.
delivered line in Aliens 2, but to be like, they mostly come at night. Long pause.
Says it too. That's just so
Mostly.
bad. You're like, what is that accent?
Yeah,
What
you
was
just
that?
try and deliver it as badly as possible. And everyone's like, what are you doing?
Who made
That's
it?
the best.
yeah.
Isn't
You're
there a
just
movie
like,
called They Come at Night? Did they make a whole movie because that was such a bad line? I'm pretty sure that's another horror movie.
oh
I
my
think they made a whole
God.
movie like just about that.
Just
That's
about that one line.
so funny,
Best line.
dude.
That's great.
All right, boys, we're coming up on we're passing an hour and 20 minutes, so I think we got to knock out That's Heresy, and then we'll hit the road. What do you guys say?
All I can say about that is this hasn't felt like an hour and 20 minutes, so that's a good
It
thing.
hasn't. It's been a good time. It's been a good time.
Yeah.
I'm glad you joined us, Russ. It's been fun. But let's see what's heresy today.
That's heresy, brother.
So, what do we got today, boys? We're talking about takebacks, right? Are takebacks heresy? And Cam, do you want this, or I'll take this? Up to you.
I'll take it.
All right.
Damn it.
So Russ, what do you think? What is heresy? Are takebacks heresy, or
Takebacks
should they be
heresy.
allowed?
It's such a hard question to so casually. I don't think it's any question. I think unless you're playing a team like PhoBros.
Look,
where
man, this
part of
isn't
your-
about is heresy casual or competitive, Russ? I think
You know what?
heresy's
I'm a bit of casual heresy.
As much as you want to thread this line, Russ, you can't. You got to say one
You
way or the
have
other
to
here.
come
It's
down.
one or the other.
Oh, one or the other. I think I'm gonna come down on the side of takebacks. Oh, I've got to pick one. Okay, I'm gonna say takebacks on not heresy. Takebacks on heresy. I think it's okay to do takebacks. I think
Right.
there's a time and a place, but I think in general, it's within reason. Within reason. Yes, a takeback is fine. It's completely fine. You know, I think that's fine.
All right. So
Not
I
heresy.
think it's complete heresy when you let your opponent measure out a charge. They come up short. Happens all the time. They move the model though. Suddenly, they move the model back to where he originally was. Now he's an inch further up the board. Oh, nobody notices. Kind of tough. He measures the second time to be sure. Oh, sorry, dude. This 3 APL Gorehorn's eating his fucking lunch. You're fucked.
That's,
That's
I mean,
fucking
that is-
heresy.
I mean that is heresy, but that's something completely different. That's completely different. That is stealing an inch.
That is cheating. That is
Yeah.
called cheating.
That's
is
cheating.
just-
Cheating
It
is
happens all the
heresy.
time.
Cheating
You
is
have to
heresy.
take back. When you go to do something and then you set it back, and it's like, it's how do we define a take back though? Maybe you're right.
I
So
would say proxy models. I would say
Right,
they,
right.
They are
Yeah.
heresy, proxy model. Just be where's
sure.
it going to be? There you go.
And I would
Here's
even
another one
add,
though. Take backs. Complete heresy. You do something. I've had this happen a bunch. You do something in the game, then your opponent activates and does something. You respond to that, and he's like, "Oh wait, never mind. I don't want to do that because you're just gonna do that." And it's like, "Oh, okay. So you knew what I was thinking prior? Did you read my mind, or are you responding? You just didn't think out all the options, pal. So sorry. This is a game of strategic thinking. You can't just you can't change it now that you've seen my hand. That sucks."
I think
another
there's a
take
time
back.
limit. I think there is a time limit on your take back. As soon as dice are rolled, you can't. I mean, if you ask for a take back after a dice has been rolled,
Yeah.
I mean, you are scum, subhuman at that. But if it's pre-dice roll and your model, your fingers are off the model, and you go, actually, I think you're going to do that, and then move it, you're fine. But as soon as a person puts a model there, and you can't react, I think. I have had that happen where someone's been like, "Oh, I wouldn't have done that if I'd known you would have done that." I was like, "Would you have not?" I mean,
Yeah.
that is the game.
How would
The
you
idea
have
is
known what I was
how
going to
would you
do?
know? So if I did a terrible move, you're okay with your terrible move. But if I do a move that's good after your terrible move, now your terrible move you don't want to do anymore. It's like, because if we're playing that, we'll never finish Turning Point 1.
That is where it gets crazy. That's where it gets crazy. I played a game at a tournament with a semi-new player, and he there was this one moment where he moved a model to the top vantage of focus and shot one of my models, rolled dice, and then he didn't want to leave his model engaged. With his last APL, he wanted to dash all the way back down the ladders that he set up. And I was like, oh no, you can't dash down all the way to the floor of this stronghold. And then he was like, can I take this back? And I was like, sure. You know what, dude? Whatever. Yeah, it wasn't gonna, at that point in the game, it wasn't gonna change anything, and it was a newer player, and I was like, yeah, man, whatever. Have your moment right now. Just whatever. And then later in the game, he did something again and left a model open to a piercing 2 shot from my Dark Lance and was like, I'm gonna actually walk. I was like, no, you not. Sorry.
I think that's the truth, isn't it? I think it's
you can't keep doing it because we're never gonna finish the game. Is what I told him. I was like, if you keep doing this, we will never finish the game.
Yeah, I think that's the truth, isn't it? It's heresy, and if the move doesn't impact your game, it's not heresy, and you can take it back. But as soon as it's actually it's getting to Turning Point 4, and I thought I was winning this game, and now it's a couple of points in it. Now it gets serious, and now there's a 0 takebacks.
Because you got to redo everything against you. What you've done, you are going to naturally start to lose the game. I was seriously hamming it up, but I think there's a, like you just said, there's a line there where you have to kind of draw it. I think dice rolling is probably the best way to solidify it.
That's the hard line.
Dice, all right.
Dice rolling's the hard line, right? But there are soft lines that I think you can adjudicate yourself what you deem to be the limits. And then for me, it's also whether it's how casual is this game? Are we in the kitchen? Or am I going to win $150?
Yeah. If there's a kettle nearby and there's your cat's on the table, and it's a
little different.
As soon as there's a golden ticket, there's a golden ticket there, you're like, you know what? The first one in Turning Point 1, I think it also depends when the game, because if it's Turning Point 1 and 2 is prime take back time, because then you can maybe even you bet get one each. You're like, oh, I didn't realize that your guy could do that. Do you mind if I roll that back? And you go, no dice have been rolled. It hasn't changed my game. Take it back. But Turning Point 3 and 4, that's a rough ask. And people, if you're asking for a take back at Turning Point 3 and 4, you got to know that is a rough ask for your opponent.
Yeah, because you've gone so far.
Yeah.
And I think gotchas are one of the things too where and I've gotten to a point with the game where if I know something I'm about to do is or if my opponent does something and it's a newer player, and especially if it's a casual game, and I'm gonna be able to just rain hellfire on 2 or 3 other models because he doesn't know that I can do this one thing, I'll just tell him hey man, you don't know my team, but here's something I can do. If you want to think about what you just did instead of me just completely, because you could just, when you can see the future and you're going to go do this thing that's going to just ruin this guy's night, it's that's not even fun. I don't know. That's one of the circumstances where I'm okay. Eric draws a line at $150, so we know that's all it costs.
That's it.
That's all it costs for Eric is $150.
Wama,
outside
bing
of that,
bong.
You fucked. That's all it costs to buy him.
That's all it. Yeah.
$150 to the local game store, and he's gonna make sure you play every fucking rule.
No, I mean, dude, I'm
just kidding.
But it does by the time you get to the top table, right? It's also we are at a different level of understanding of the game, anyways. But it is for me I don't care if you take something back and it doesn't change anything that I'm doing. If I'm in the middle of moving an activation and you go, hey man, is it cool if I actually have this guy 2 inches over here? And I'm on this side of the board, and you're talking about this side of the board. I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you're doing over there. It's whatever.
Now, if you casual games, I almost always allow.
Yeah, I allow anything, or I'll even tell you, like Cam said, where you're about to do something. And I'm like, I'm gonna fight first. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm lethal 5 ceaseless. Oh.
You just might not want to do it.
And then they're still doing it. I'm like, you don't want to do that.
It's this isn't a trick. I'm trying to be nice. I know
you're gonna die.
Like, no, I am a nice person trying to save you here.
Yeah, I did
Well, it's
that
kind
one
of the difference
time.
between being a predator. If you're an
Yeah.
experienced player that's competed competitively, if you've podiumed somewhere, if you've done anything that makes you like one of those players, you're gonna. If you do it the other way, you're just kind of being predatory. Like, do you really need this guy to walk into this gotcha trap at this local game night? No. Like, just help your opponent out a bit. It is supposed to be fun.
Look, man,
I mean, at the end of the day,
It's a game.
it is supposed to be fun.
If I win just one more game of Kill Team, I might reach self-actualization, Cam. This is the most important. All right, I can't even finish this
Eric,
thought. It's so
That
ridiculous.
might be enough.
Eric wins
I
enough
might
games of Kill Team.
I might win respect for myself with this game.
Yeah, dude.
This might be the one.
My defining
exactly.
moment is right now.
Yeah,
That's
my
kinda how
dad
that
will
kinda
tell
feels.
me he loves me if I just win one more game.
That probably is gonna hit home for somebody.
There's someone out there who thinks that way for real.
Someone out there.
No, but people
Jeez.
do sometimes play like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and of course I'm joking around, but like, there's a time and a place. I think, you know, you also, I think a lot of things come down to just like setting expectations with your opponent prior,
I think that's
and
the
just
best
being like,
thing,
hey,
yeah.
this is like, especially casually, you know, even competitively. And I think circling back a little bit to I moved my model, and then I realized that it was not close enough, and then I move it back to the wrong spot. Just kind of that. I've changed the way that I've played Kill Team a little bit over the last year or two as far as measuring goes. And I think when you know it's going to be close, right? Put the motherfucking measuring tools on the board. If you're sitting there and you're hovering and and moving, right? Like if you put them down, like on the actual thing, and if you even need to, you go, hey man, can I borrow your 3 inch? And I have, right? And then or you see, oh, okay, cool. So it's 5 inches to here. I'm gonna take my 6 inch. I got this from Jason Fahey, by the way. When I watched him, I played a game with him. He was measuring like this, and I was like, wow, actually, this is he like barely made a charge by a fifth of an inch maybe or something. And I'm like, well, I mean, obviously you got it, right? As opposed to those other times where you see people like holding it up here, and they're like, looks,
like,
what do you think? Looks pretty close, man. Looks pretty close. You think I got it by like a millimeter? And I'm like, I don't know, or maybe put it fucking
How
down.
could you ever tell?
Because
Yeah.
if you put it
It's
down,
also too when you're playing on big tables, like sometimes, and that makes a big difference. You're not playing on a small table where you can actually look over the whole board. It makes a huge difference in how you actually see the measuring.
yeah,
It's tough. I really like those magnet little circle measures that people have that kind of like
base
connect together.
steppers, the base steppers, yeah.
Yeah, and you can like
Those are
kind of
nice.
like wrap them around stuff. You can like easily measure around control range. You can measure around terrain really easily. I think the kill team measuring sticks are tough for new players sometimes because one thing new players do a lot is they accidentally phase through terrain all the time. And it's like, is it really their fault? No. They have a straight line measuring tool. Like it's
Right.
kind of hard at times. So like, because then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go an inch here with a little tiny incher, and I'm gonna go an inch here and go inch here. And I'm way too like impulsive for that shit. I actually hate having to do that. I'm like, how much easier could I make this? Like I don't want to have to spend this time doing
But
this.
base
inch
stepping
by
is
inch
also
stepping.
slow as fuck. So that's the other problem. It's just like a nature of the game. Because if I played somebody and they're like, hey man, I'm just gonna let you know, I use base steppers for every single activation, I would be like,
That's the-
But
That
why
is
is that slow?
that is
I played
heresy,
against
bro.
a guy at Nova last year that had like a 8-inch one that was just already set. So all he did was put it on the board and he'd wrap it around stuff. It's like a snake.
the snake, I've seen that one.
Are we still talking about the game?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what the base stepper is. I'm talking about, yeah, he basically had like a dildo that he put on the board and pulled it around stuff. No, he had this
Where
like,
did he pull
it
it
was,
from?
Yeah, I don't know
32
where it was
mil
from.
girth. I heard a 32 millimeter girth is pretty good, pretty solid.
Yeah, dude, he used this thing. I remember this guy. He was one of the
Masterful.
he was one of the New York like club team players, and he used that thing to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pegged me with Goremongers with that fucking thing, wrapping that thing on these charges.
Oh
That was when I had my first taste of the Goremonger Alpha Strike, which I don't know if they can do that anymore, but yeah, he ripped my butthole open with that one.
Yeah. So, when you know that you're making close measurements, like if it's super obvious, sometimes I just don't measure, dude. Like if I'm moving
Yeah.
a model 3 inches and I have 2 APL, right? And I'm climbing over one barricade for 2 inches and I'm moving you literally 3 inches laterally, right? Like I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna move dash here. I don't care. I got 6 inches in movement or whatever total. Like I can get over here. I'll just do it. But when you're trying to make like that charge, or it kills me when you're like getting exactly within two of me, which is that's the thing. That's the thing. That's how
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game works. But then you measure it like a bum, and I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You just the model's down here. You're holding the measuring stick over going there. Yeah,
Looks.
I'm pretty sure I got you.
I got
It's
it.
the only thing that I love about TTS, and I hate everything about
Oh, that's
TTS. But I
the
do love the ability to just like click on my model and then I hit like the 6 on the keyboard and it creates a 6-inch aura and whatever it is. It makes it really easy. Like measuring
Maybe
on
we're gonna get those
TTS.
glasses, AR
Yeah.
glasses, where you can just do that and be like 6-inch
Mm,
radius on that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
that would be
That'd be kind
cool.
of
Because
sick.
that is the best thing about TTS, the radius stuff you can put on the models. It's so, and you can do the save state, so you can move forward and
Yes.
be like, you know what, reset
Load. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
exactly
Just
where
load the
they
plate
were.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's
It does
almost.
though. TTS creates the perfect environment for analysis
Why is it
paralysis.
so bad?
I don't
Like, because
know.
I've played games on it and it's been fine, but like it's absolutely. I think it's maybe cause even the social aspect, because you are speaking to someone, so it's not that. I don't know what it is about not physically being able to be there that takes me out of it
I
so much.
I
'Cause
think it's because it's so exact, right? Like there
Yeah.
is
yeah, maybe.
some small amount of subjectivity to any kill team game when it comes to movement and auras and stuff. Like, yeah, I just said, hey, put your measurement tool on the ground, but at the same time, like sometimes there's too much shit in the way for me to measure a 6 inch aura that's coming off of your leader. We
Yep.
have to have it above, and we have to just be like, is that guy in or out? It's pretty damn close, you know?
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
I agree with that.
it's just
It's a
so
little
exact on
dependent too
TTS.
on what is it like the person you're playing because like sometimes you play someone that's
Yeah,
not gonna do it, but I've played guys in like these TTS leagues where like they'll spend 15 minutes trying to find an angle where they can shoot me
I
where
hate
I'm
that
not
shit.
obscured, but when I go to shoot them back, they'll be obscured, and like they're using the
almost
camera
difficult.
view to go like inside this miniature room where then they can look up through the thing, and it's like you can never do that in real life because you're not the
Yeah,
size of a fly that can you literally can't be, in TCS you can be the fly on the wall of a Volcus room and get all the way in there and look at these angles. You can't do that in real
I
life, which I
I
think
think
kind of goes back to what Eric just said of like you can
yeah.
be so precise and exact.
That is the worst. I think if I'm going to say the single worst thing I dislike about Kill Team has to be that people draw line of sight from the physical model's head quite a lot. Like they like, can the head of my model see your model? And it's like, I hate that.
It's a
I
double-edged
hate that
sword for
that's a
me.
thing.
I
I
like
hate
it, but
it.
then I
What's
dislike it
your
at times.
alternative?
Silhouette,
The
probably.
alternative, yeah, the silhouette, it exists already in Infinity. If like, and I don't mind the head being the part as long as there's a silhouette and it's like you can see anywhere. But the silhouette in Infinity is can your silhouette see any part of their silhouette?
That's how
And
Legion
that is
is.
fine.
Yep.
That's
Is that how
exactly how
Legion as
Legion.
well? Yeah,
Yeah, so
That
Legion
is,
is
that's what
which
I
is
silhouette
thought.
is
based.
one of the nicer things about Legion.
Yeah.
Where in the Kill Team core rules is that where it says you draw it from? I've
Yep.
actually never
It
read that.
says you draw it from the head and it goes to any part of the model. So then you have weird stuff where you're like, oh, I can, like, especially new players, they're like, I can see you. And I'm like, you can see my model? Because I'm like, I know you can't see my model. And they're like, oh, well, I see your base. I'm like, it doesn't count. But the base would be the silhouette, right? Like, because the silhouette generally, it's a
Yeah,
cylinder
because it
coming
goes
off the
from
base.
up.
So if you can see my base, you can see
You
my
should be able to
silhouette,
shoot.
which is also why there's a lot less issues that I found in line of sight with Legion. But still, sometimes people that I play kill teamers in Legion, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're not in cover. And I'm like, I'm a silhouette, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
my model and my silhouette are two different things, but we're so used to playing kill team that it's like
yeah,
it's so easy to be in cover and it's so easy to get line of sight on people in Legion. The way that it's
That's
designed,
interesting.
it's so easy. So it's like when people are like, "Oh, it's so simple," that when there's any contention about it, it's kind of like, "Bro, this game is like you have giant cylinders coming
I
at
can get
everyone.
it.
Like everybody gets everything. It's kind of
But
pretty
that's
easy.
what I prefer.
It is. It is
Because then
nice.
cover obscurity is still a thing, so it shouldn't really
Mm-mm.
massively matter. But the whole like you're right, Cameron, when you're saying like there's like a massive thing, and it was so annoying the last edition. I know they cleaned up a little bit with only being cover and obscure, like you can't have both now. But there was so
Yeah.
much people are like lining up there. So I'm going to be within an inch from my side, but without an inch from your side, so that I get cover and obscure when I shoot you. And it's like it is a bit much, and I would just like to be. That would be perfect for me if they went by the sounds of things the Legion's way and just said, see the silhouette anywhere on the silhouette is fine.
The level of sweat we just don't need, I think. It never really serves much other than like negative vibes. It's a
I
bad
think that's
vibe.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bad vibe too when you get shot and someone can see you and they're like, "Oh, I see the purity seal hanging off your ass." It's like,
That's the bit
"Oh
that
shit,
drives
so
me
you shredded some
crazy.
paper, brother? You shredded some
Yeah.
paper because if that's what you see, then you shot the paper." But like, you know, if it's going to be that precise,
Hey man, you
Yeah,
lose
okay.
the
that's what, like,
Emperor's blessing, and that's GG's, bro.
yeah.
All right.
Yep. I shot your purity
He
seal,
abandons you
or I shot your
immediately.
leather pouch. You know, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
The spikes,
I shot the hilt of your
spikes off the
sword.
armor.
My insulin was in
Gone.
there. My operative's diabetic. That's it. It's game over, dude.
Just immediately goes into like a diabetic catatonic state on the board. Just like yeah, it's interesting. If you're gonna measure from your guy's real eyes, then there's gotta be a part where what you're shooting, you know, has to be at least 75% visible. You just
Yeah.
can't be shooting butt cheeks and purity seals and leather pouches.
But then
dude.
at the same time, once you do that, then it gets super sweaty, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's 60%, bro.
I
That's
hate
not
that.
75.
That's
So
you
then,
don't-
so
don't-
then you go to the
thing, yeah.
silhouette. Like I think the best
That's what I'm
balance
saying
would
with the
be
silhouette. Don't you need to see a? Is it in Legion? Do you have to see a certain
there.
amount of the
There is
silhouette
a
to be able to shoot?
no. There's a cylinder coming up from the base. If you see any
Yeah.
part of that cylinder with any part of your cylinder, your Cash Money Records, the dream comes true. We're rolling dice, right?
That's what I want.
And so it makes it's actually in a way,
Okay.
if you
I'm seeing it
translate
wrong.
it to
I
what we
see it
know
now.
now, if you translate it to what we know now, it feels goofier because I'm shooting thin air. But it's the
Yeah.
fact that we're simulating that the model's moving on a base.
Exactly.
And so you're there, right? So I think it would actually be interesting if you did draw from your head to a silhouette.
But to the silhouette, yeah.
Would be cool because then I wouldn't be like, I'm shooting your sock, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
That-
just looking at the basically the volume from the base going up to the top of the model.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then there's
That is
something that'll determine what the height of a silhouette is. There'll be some rule
Right.
that'll tell you
Right,
how
right, right.
tall it is. And
That makes more sense.
and there's
That
even
does
stuff
make a
in
lot more
Legion
sense.
on the vehicle silhouettes where it's like ignore antennas. Antennas don't extend your silhouette. You know, like there's some rules
Fair.
like that. So there's like little stuff they put in that are like, yeah, you don't get to be seen or
Just a
see
sense
better
check.
because you have an antenna up here, but at the same time, you know, and then the troopers and stuff, they all have fixed size silhouette like tools basically. So if you're Yoda and your model's this big, he's still a trooper silhouette, you know. And if you're
So you
Darth,
can't hide those models away forever.
yeah, because it's a silhouette based thing. So it's very
Because you might be
simple.
jumping around. Who knows?
Yeah, and there's also that thing where Yoda, it's a rattling problem. If Yoda didn't have a silhouette, he couldn't see very
You're
well,
gonna shoot.
right?
Oh yeah.
I-
No, dude. I played Rattlings the other day, and I had my opponent literally block himself out from shooting with his own Ogren because they just couldn't see through they had no line of sight from anything on their body or their base through two Ogrens they put in front of them. And the guy was like, "Well, I guess I can't shoot." And I was like, "I don't think you can see me." Like, and it's the same issue people have sometimes with elves or dwarves or rattlings on Volcus when they're standing on the stronghold and they can't see over the stronghold walls because they're so tiny. Like Hoda models can tuck up against some of those smaller stronghold walls and you can't see them. But then, you know,
Yeah.
I just think a silhouette means hobbying. You're less restricted by hobbying if you want to kit bash your team, and then like I know people don't do it, and like when I've kit bashed some Murder Wing, and I've made them on massive bases so they're the same height as like the new Murder Wing, just because I don't want to be someone who's cheating you by having a smaller model than the official models. There's less of me to see, because yeah, I don't know.
And I'm
And
kit
You have
bashing.
less like
Silhouette
modeling
solves that
for advantage, I guess. Less
Yeah,
modeling
like-
for disadvantage. It's like the problem
Yeah.
I have with that giant snake I have for my Wolf Scouts
the
team,
Iron
Eric.
Snakes.
Yeah, the Iron
Very
Snakes. I have this really large snake model that does fit on the Wolf Scouts base, but he's like, he's probably taller or as tall as a Ravener model. So
Yeah.
once that bad boy's engaged, you're shooting
Yeah.
him in the head from anywhere you want. You're never gonna keep that guy in cover really, which is fine. I'm always rule of cool anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So I want to
Yeah.
have like the sickest kit bash with a lot of cool shit on my minis. Then I care about whether he's gonna get shot. But
with a kit bash, I'm always modeling for disadvantage to try and make it like. Because my Iron Warrior's wolf is basically a tank. It's like a small tank. There's no hiding
sick,
it.
dude.
At all.
I have not seen that. I gotta look at your
Uh,
Instagram and check that out. You got him
Oh,
right
no,
there.
it's actually right here.
See that?
Oh,
So
I'm
bad boy.
gonna-
it's
Oh, dude, that thing's sick.
Oh, that is
It's
pretty
like a
cool.
little, like a little drone-controlled tank that they're just gonna.
It's got a
Sick.
brazier on the top. So it's just got like a little fire brazier, and it's got like some drill bits at the front from like So there's no way
That's
that's
pretty cool.
hiding. But I just thought
Yeah.
I don't want to be modeling for advantage. So you go the other way. You lean in hard.
I know.
And you make sure you're almost modeling for disadvantage, like you say, just so your kit bashes get allowed.
There's something pure about that though. Like when I do it, when I someone it was someone else that told me I was hurting myself with the big snake model, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And anybody out there that's kit bashing, creating their own kind of stuff, doing something different with these teams because you don't like Wolf Scouts as Space Wolves, then just do whatever you want. It's way cooler.
Yeah, much cooler.
You'll still win games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Even
my
with all
thing
the
gets killed because it's too tall, then I'll make
We
sure a
got-
Wolf Scout kills 2 other guys for him. It's fine.
We got conceal orders, man. You know, like
yeah,
they
oh,
can-
yeah.
it's not the end of the world. And if they're gonna get within 2, they're probably gonna see you anyways. So it's
Mhm.
like, you know, and I'm kit bashing Murder Wing right now, and I'm dealing with the same thing as you, Russ, where I'm like, all right, you know, I got jump pack intercessors. I'm trying to figure out exactly how tall. I have a decent idea of how tall the Chaos Lord is supposed to be. So I'm, you know, I have all these cool poses I'm working with, but like some of them I'm like, I think this is actually too short, and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
That I'm, you know, do I just run with it and say I'm never gonna put this guy under advantage because he's just gonna be in melee with a jetpack anyways?
Yeah.
Or do I make my model look less cool? I don't know. We'll figure it out, dude. But it's slowing down the hobby process for me, right? Because I'm like, I gotta fucking
Yeah.
figure out.
You want stuff that helps the hobby juices flowing.
Yeah, I want it to be
Yep.
badass, but I don't want someone
Yeah.
to like. I don't want there to be a feel bad because we walk up to the table
Yeah.
and someone's like, well, actually,
Actually, yeah.
that is a bad kit bash because
Gets out the tape measure.
I know.
I
You're
know.
like, all right, man. Well,
It looks
Fuck
cool
you.
though, right? Can you agree it looks cool?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No. I hate it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. You're like, all right, all right, all right. I concede. No, but hey, man, we had a good time. We had a great time. I'm glad you joined us, Russ.
Thanks
We've
very
had
much, yeah.
all the casuals on now.
I was gonna
And-
say the final casual.
Yeah, you're the
That's it,
final
you know.
boss. You're the final boss,
what it
dude.
You are
is.
the final boss.
Yeah.
I was like we say in the casual, but not the first. It's the last is the most important.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I say. The best to last, obviously.
Reese
Yeah.
was like one of our first guests that we had.
He
Well,
was.
that's because he's the worst of us. So
Well,
you had
yeah.
to have him on first, and
And
then Ben
he's
was
so
Ben's
nice.
home team.
And coincidentally,
Ben-
we were so early on in the pod, I didn't fully understand how to work this software, so our audio was so bad on that podcast. We'll have to.
Didn't it not start for like? Was
Who
it like a
God
couple of minutes in?
knows. God knows what happened,
Yes.
bro. Anything.
that-
Trying not to remember here. We don't want to
Yeah.
think about
So
it.
much.
Yeah, it was
Honestly,
total
we-
madness.
It doesn't get any better.
No, it
We've
actually
had,
does.
like,
It actually does.
5 or 6 like that.
I know how to pilot this thing now. I can mix the audio on the fly. We can make it happen. So everything was super smooth this pod, and that's why we've been talking for 2 hours. But
It was hysterical when we first started, and then the Discord would go crazy in our Florida Discord.
it's
People would be
funny.
like the first episode was an hour. Dude, what were we? 45 minutes late on the first one. Like crazy talk. And Ben's in there. He's like, Who the fuck launches a podcast but doesn't know how to start the goddamn audio?
Dude, I downloaded OBS 10 minutes before we were supposed to go
Really
live,
nice.
We were
and I
not
was just
prepared.
like, oh,
That's the best way.
Yeah, so we took one out of the KTC book and
I was gonna say
we
that's
just
don't
fire it off
the
and
key is don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Don't let good be the enemy of perfect. Just do it. And
Just
then,
don't care. That's
yeah,
we've just never
That's the
cared. We've
that's the
gotten on here
secret
and cared
magic.
about nothing. Like,
yeah,
just have a good time, dude.
yeah. But thanks for joining us, bro. A lot of
Yeah.
fun, and yeah, I'm sure we'll run it back in the future, man. And for everybody
Yeah,
joining
no,
us,
thanks for having me on.
Russ, check out his YouTube channel, GFN Gaming. He has a lot of cool kill team and tabletop related content. Some cool your battle reports are pretty rad, I think. And then Kill Team Casuals, you can catch them
Team Couches.
YouTube, Twitch,
Tomorrow.
Spotify. They're going live tomorrow. Whatever time they tell you, add 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very rough approximation.
yeah, yeah, I
Anytime
know.
it's given.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and you can find us on YouTube and Spotify. I'm too lazy to set up Twitch. Sorry, Twitch people. But that's just where we are right now. Maybe we'll get on Twitch eventually. But thanks everybody
I
for
think
joining
so.
us.
I think we're staying where we are.
Yeah, we're chilling. We're having a good time. And if you guys find us on Spotify, if you guys like our shit, subscribe to our shit. We're trying to grow the pod and just get more people to, hang out, bullshit about Kill Team. That's kind of the name of the game. So, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.